felt like the devil was lurking within you, I want to talk about in this video how I see the devil as our shadow selves. The devil is your shadow selves. Let's dive into this. I am going to chop it up with you and we're going to get into it, okay? Let's go. So, welcome. Welcome to Empress Expressions. My name is Amber and I am the Empress here, and I welcome you if you're returning or if you're new. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And so today we are talking about how the devil is actually your shadow. And what all that means, right? What does that mean? Like, I know this may be kind of triggering for some people, or it may actually help someone open their minds and be expansive in thought and really move out of that way of thinking the devil is this evil man or person that is always out to get you, right? And I say that because I grew up in the church. I grew up in like Southern Baptist church, and then we moved into like a non-denominational church, but I always felt like the devil was this evil, demon type thing that was always trying to like tempt me and get me to do bad shit and be a bad person and say bad things, and then I felt really bad about who I was after I had like entertained or played in the devil's, realm or whatever. But I want to talk about this. I want to talk about how I feel like the devil is our shadow. So the first thing I have here is shadow projection and the devil's temptation. So like a person struggling with unworthiness, they might project this aspect of themselves onto others, perceiving them as judgmental or critical. In this example, the devil's temptation, it represents the allure of these shadow qualities, tempting one to entertain self-sabotaging and negative thoughts and behaviors. So with this example, you have a person, right, that is feeling unworthy, right? There are going to be shadow sides of that person that are activated to make this belief about themselves true. So that's when the self-sabotage comes in. That's when the negative thoughts and emotions come in. That shadow side of that person, I see that as the devil. The devil is the shadow. It's the aspects of ourselves that we really don't want to entertain, but we may find ourselves entertaining because there are beliefs that we have that we need validation on. So this person, this hypothetical person that we're talking about that may feel unworthy, that the unworthiness is a belief of theirs. So what's going to happen is it's going to activate other shadow aspects of them, right? So now all of a sudden they think that the people that they're dealing with are being super judgmental and very critical, right? But in all reality, that's them projecting their shit on another person. That's all that is. And the reason that the projection is happening is because the belief of unworthiness wants to be validated. It wants to be validated. It wants to be true. It can't stand in this belief of unworthiness without something feeding it as truth. So that is the shadow's projection, right? Projecting out onto other people, right? And projecting and activating other shadow selves within ourselves or within a self, right? Yeah, like it's interesting because like the devil is within us all, right? I've said this before and I'll say it again. God, the divine source, does not judge itself. That's what we do. We judge because of contrast. We judge because of free will. God, source, the universe doesn't judge itself. It embodies it all. right? It's when we judge, is when we start rejecting parts of ourselves. We don't want to integrate or accept that we have these darker sides to ourselves. Number 2, the illusion of separation and integration. The devil can represent the illusion of separation between ourselves and our shadow aspects. Consider a person who struggles with jealousy towards others' success. They may see jealousy as a separate demonic force within them rather than acknowledging it as a part of their own psyche. So by seeing that the devil represents this fragmented aspect of the self, can begin the process of embracing jealousy as a signal for unmet desires or insecurities that need attention. So it kind of goes back to the projection, right? But in the sense of, in a way, like we are separating ourselves with inside of ourselves. Our psyche is super complex, and when you have a hard time accepting and integrating that you have a dark side, you're going to create an illusion of separation, which is now going to create an internal conflict within yourself because you are fighting yourself. Now, when I say that you have these shadows and you have these dark sides within yourself, I'm not saying that you got to play in the dark. I'm not saying you got to do evil shit. I'm not saying you got to do bad things, whatever that is for you. I'm not saying you got to activate that within yourself. Acknowledging, accepting is what's going to keep you from creating an illusion of separation, right? Acknowledging that you have maybe really fucked up ways about yourself, okay? Like, that makes you more whole. That makes you more powerful. That dissolves this illusion of separation, and it starts the process of integration. That is a state of, that is a way to move into enlightenment, right? And we've talked about that. Enlightenment is not a destination. Enlightenment is forever happening. It's always happening. Enlightenment is expansion, because the universe is expanding all the time. Enlightenment is not a moment that you reach and you're just like, oh, I'm enlightened and I've done it all. No, it's an ongoing process. It is a lifetime. It is a soul's mission. It's a journey. So when you're fighting parts of yourself, you create this illusion of separation. And so it can really cause, I honestly believe, and I wasn't really planning on saying this, but I do feel like I feel called to say it. I feel like this is a huge part of like what happens with like mental illness, right? It's this idea of you can't accept this part of yourself. And so you end up fighting it, and then you're deemed to, have this mental illness. Or like when I think about schizophrenia, or I think about bipolarism, all these different things, all these different mental illnesses that people are diagnosed with and categorized in and medicated for, I really feel like it's an internal conflict that happens. Like whether someone didn't accept that part of themselves, or they never were told or allowed or understood that they could accept that darker side of themselves. So then it's like this split, right? And can you imagine, and like we've all experienced this, but think about if you had to split yourself, right? You're only going to be able to do that for so long before you feel fragmented. Your consciousness is going to become fragmented. Your self-esteem is going to become fragmented. You are no longer going to have a wholeness about you. The more and more that you feel like you can't accept all of you. And surround yourself with people that support you accepting all of you and can accept all of you as well. So number 3 is the acceptance, right? The acceptance of all parts of self and self-realization. This is powerful. It's so powerful because I just think about how I grew up thinking about the devil and how it was like this thing, like, stay away from me. But it is me. It's you. And when I was able to tap into that, truly accept that, understand that, I literally felt pieces of me that I had left in places all over the world, right? Even before this lifetime, come back together. Because there was aspects of myself that I no longer had to ignore, that I no longer had to run from. I could just accept them, right? I could just be okay with them. And when I was able to accept them and be okay with them, that's when I realized I had power over them as to whether or not I was going to activate them, and whether or not I was going to, entertain that version of myself. But there was this wholeness that happened when I accepted the devil within, in so many ways, accepting the shadow self, right? I do feel called to, in the future, I will talk about how the shadow will hide other shadow aspects of itself from itself, in order to protect itself. So I will eventually dig into that. That'll be some really great content, juicy content to tap into. But yeah, this is what I have for you when it comes to the devil is your shadow. I would love to hear some comments down below. Good vibes only. And let me know what you think about this concept, what you think about, this content. Like this video if you feel called to, and subscribe and share if you feel called to. Clearly, if you're still here, you are vibing with me and my energy and this content. And so drop some love, drop some stuff down in the comments. If you're interested in getting your Living Soul Profile Report, please feel free to tap into that. That link is going to be in the description box below. If you're wanting to know what the Living Soul is, there is a playlist on this channel that has several videos where I discuss the Living Soul. Feel free to reach out to me if you have more questions. And yeah, the ebook series is still in the works. If you're interested in that, please shoot me an email, introduce yourself, let me know that you're interested. And when that drops, I will send that directly to you. So yeah, in the meantime, in between time, I send you peace, I send you light, and I send you love. Bye.